Hey, everybody, back again. This time, this little talk video thing is going to be in regards to the teaching time of confirmation class. For those of you who have not heard, we had no teachers this time around, or at least folks that were able to commit to the whole year, and so we just started thinking about it and decided to move towards parents being the teachers of the confirmation class. And so far so good. As you saw in the email, we are nearly covered. There are only about 28 lessons throughout the whole year, and we are nearly covered with signups. There's a link in the email, as you have probably already read, that you can check out the dates that are open to the topics and things like that. But here, I'm just going to give you a little rundown on how the class works, as I've been going through this, talking to my wife, Betsy, about it. She's been helping kind of craft a little bit of this stuff as well, just to give a better feel for ease and understanding. So what the teaching portion of things will look like is if you are on for teaching, you're going to receive a piece of paper that looks like this. I have it. It's an attachment in the email. And it is going to be broken down into 5 parts. Part 1 is the big point. The next is the hook. The next is the details of the lesson. And finally is the reading portion of the lesson, the scripture passage, which in my opinion is the most important part of the whole kit and caboodle. So, the 5th part is just a YouTube video that I have found that is an option to put in there as well. Most of the time those YouTube videos are going to be kind of ridiculous and things like that. So I'm just going to talk through what each of these parts of this lesson, and then you can, if you download and look on your computer or whatever, you can kind of take a peek at what it looks like. But here it is. The first thing is the big point. The big point is the main message of the lesson. That's all it is. It's the idea of what we're going for the lesson. Big point. That's all it is. The next thing is the hook. And what the hook is it's usually your lead-in, and teachers, will know this, but the hook is really the lead-in. If it's a game or an activity or something like that, this is something that you can come up with on your own, where I also have a couple of resources from the materials I am pulling this from. They have some hooks and things like that mixed in there, and I can add those for you to take a peek and look at. The details are some nitty-gritty stuff, some details about the lesson. For example, this first lesson is about using the Bible, so the details are the Bible. Number 1, the Bible is a tool. Next is the Bible is a library of 66 books, so on and so forth. Just some tidbits of information to relate to the kids. And then finally, the reading portion. And the reading portion, again, is the most important part of this whole lesson. And we've come up with a couple things. Number 1 is, on the paper you'll see something that has the passage that is going to be read, and then it has something that it says read, think, write, table, group. And really what we're doing here is, the first thing we want to do is read the passage, and we want to read the passage out loud with the kids. Read it together, all together. Then we're going to give them an opportunity to think about it. And in that thinking, we have some questions, and I'll show you what those are in a second. And then we're going to give them an opportunity to write while they're thinking. This may kind of go hand in hand. They are writing and thinking, so they may be drawing a picture or something that stands out or whatever. They will be thinking and writing. And then the table, we want to encourage them, give them a time to say something significant about the passage at their little table group. And after that, from there, we will then go to big groups. So not everybody has to share, but it may be something that was significant from the group, or questions from the group, from the table that they had discussed previously, and then they bring it to the larger group with everybody. So let me repeat that. So it's a reading all together out loud. Then we think, give them some time to process and think. Then we give them this. During that time, they can start to write in their journals. Each of the kids are going to have a journal. Then they're going to discuss the passage or whatever, or the things that maybe they wrote or have some concerns about or are interested in at the table, and then we bring it back to the whole group. And then after, and so all of that kind of happens, right? Now we have created a sheet that is going to help guide that time slightly, and it is called How We Read the Bible. And there's going to be one of these on every table, and this is our go-to for how we read the Bible. As a matter of fact, Jen and Mark Panibanco are going to kind of be teaching how to work through this page. They haven't seen this page yet, but now they will after they get it. But this is just basically to talk about when we read scripture, this is how we do it. This is how we do it. And there's some different portions, some different things on here. for example, I'll just go over it. You're going to have it in front of you, but it says, number one is we're looking for what sticks out to us in the passage. Number two is what are the things we don't understand? What are some questions that maybe we have about this passage? Number three is where is Jesus? Where do we see Jesus in the passage? Number four is what should I do about it? Like what is the Spirit leading us to do? And number five is why the heck is this passage even in the Bible? So we have those 5 questions, and those are the questions that they are going to be, the students as well as you are going to be using when they're doing that read, think, write table group portion of things. One final thing on this sheet, there's something called a parking lot. And what the parking lot is meant to be is if a question comes up or something comes up in the lesson or a kid just is wondering this, or maybe it's you, maybe you're wondering something there, like, I have no idea. Most important thing is that it's okay to tell these young people, I have no idea, but I'm going to do my best to find out. And the parking lot is what that's for. So if there's something that comes up that you don't understand or don't get, or just their students do, and you're just like, you know what, I think I know, but I don't really want to unpack that because I'm not sure, that's an opportunity to put this thing in the parking lot. And the parking lot we'll do is periodically, Pastor Rick and I are going to be going up, looking at what's in the parking lot, and we can have a spot on the board, or it can be an email that you send to us, and say, hey, you know, this came up, we don't understand, we don't want the kids would like to hear more about this, and then Pastor Rick and I will do something like this. We'll make a video on that topic that you have that we can actually show at a later time in a lesson, or if I'm going to be up the next week, I will get up there and talk about the particular question that came up, or Pastor Rick, vice versa, or video. So that's how that is going to work. And then the very last thing on the back to this sheet, sorry I'm jumping around slightly, but back to this sheet, the sort of the lesson sheet, there's something at the very bottom called the ridiculous, and this is just a video that I find that's ridiculous, and it sort of relates to things, and if you want to show it, you can. If not, you don't have to either. All right, so that is the basic layout for the lesson portion of the teaching time.